Audible? I'll check. Okay. I don't know if I need to start today's speech saying Magne, but I do know I need to keep the next 20 minutes interesting. Good evening to all the faculty of Achieve School, to the parents present in this room, to the ninth graders and those who are graduating out of school to this year. The year was 2001, 21 years ago, when I graduated out of my school doing my 10th standard ICSE boards. Ever since that day, I've given in a whole lot of competitive exams. But trust me, the only exam I remember till date is my 10th standard board exams. And you may ask me why? Because it is the first competitive exam that I'd ever given in life. Everything about it is so special. One, the papers aren't set by your teachers, so you really don't know what they're going to do. The papers aren't corrected by your teachers. The atmosphere of giving the exam is different, and the way the results are announced is also entirely different. During our times, internet was a luxury, and the results would be announced at some godforsaken hour. And for a screen to pop up, it was worse than an IRCTC website during peak hours. You got to keep praying for 2-3 hours for the screen to come up. You have to ask all gods to come down and help you. And I still remember that my friends called in at about 2:30 in the night to inform me of my results. Every moment of that journey seems absolutely surreal and special. And so today I thought that while I'm here delivering the keynote address, I thought to share my learnings over the past 21 years, which could probably add value to each of you. And I thought I should share my learnings both with the students and the parents. So I'll leave you with 4 learnings for the students and 2 with the parents. We're starting with the students. The first one, focus on your strength and try to excel in it. Now, what does this mean? This means that a student who works really hard and yet scores 60 in math is equally competent as a student who scores 100 in math. The only difference is that probably the student who scores 60, math is not his strength or an area of liking. And the day you identify that is when you identify what you would be strong at. Probably you would be great at arts or commerce or any other space that really drives you. And once you identify what you're strong at and start focusing on it, is when life would be a game changer. Probably in times like ours, it was, you need to be successful, you need to be an engineer or a doctor. Today, I probably believe Instagram influencers are making far more money than engineers and doctors. Yeah? Making some funny videos, people are making a whole lot of money. The fields have opened up, the playgrounds have opened up, and if you're good at what you do, there is success awaiting you. Like Martin Luther King Jr. rightly said, even if you're a street sweeper, sweep it so clean that the patrons from heaven and earth will stand by, pause and say that there is a great street sweeper who's doing his job so well. And that essentially is what excellence is. Now when you say excellence, many of them confuse excellence with talent. Now talent is probably the most overrated word in our society. If you're talented doesn't mean you can be excellent. What is required is hard work and consistency. Now all of us know that Sachin Tendulkar is considered as a legend of the game. He has served the country for 24 years, over 100 centuries. We consider him as the god of cricket. Now in the initial years of his career, there was also another cricketer by the name Vinod Kambli. How many of you all know Vinod Kambli? Yeah? Vinod Kambli, right? Kambli, that's how he's become infamous as well. Vinod Kambli had probably 2 double centuries to his name. He was a flamboyant cricketer, and while he was playing cricket, he was a great shot player. Sachin Tendulkar was not much known. But the irony of Vinod Kambli was that despite all the talent, he played his last test match at the age of 24. While Vinod Kambli was flourishing on the ground, Sachin was back at the nets learning, practicing each day, getting his shot making right. And every other day, it was a line of consistency at improving his game that has made him who he is. So therefore, if you ever wish to be something in life, first identify what you're strong at. Identify what you're strong at and then work at it, create discipline and create consistency. And that's the day you'll learn to excel. 2, focus on your learnings. What does this mean? Let me tell you a personal story. Now, I passed out from a school called Presidency School, RT Nagar. I did my 10th standard ICSE boards, and this school had a unique award, like probably Achieve 2 has for its toppers, that every student who scores more than 90 in English, Hindi or Kannada, and more than 95 in maths and science would be called back the next year and felicitated before their juniors. Now, it's always a set of pride, it's a sense of pride to walk back before your juniors and receive an award. And all the students really work hard at it. I really worked hard, scored more than 18 in all my subjects, but I lost out in 3 subjects by a whisker. It just seems like you just missed the bus. And the pain point was that I scored 88 in English. So 88 in English, and it's, ICSE English medium, you write 100 marks of grammar, 100 marks of prose, and if you score a 1+, it seems like you're really good at the subject. My English teacher was certainly disappointed. However, years later, today as I stand here, it really doesn't matter whether I scored 70, 80 or 90. What matters was the grammar that I learned. What matters was the language I picked up, the high school English grammar I picked up. I had an Anglo-Indian English teacher called Miss Mary Gordon, who was exceptional at her skill. It's her language that has held me in good stead through my entire journey. You don't learn English language much in schools, in colleges. It's the language you pick up in school that remains with you. And today, if I am a public speaking coach, or if I can speak decent English, it's because of my English teacher, Mary Gordon, and the learnings I picked from her that have remained with me till date. Now let me give you another to it. I did my mechanical engineering from pretty much here, BMS College of Engineering, Baswangudi, in the same area. And I ended up joining ICICI Bank in their real estate wing. Now let me tell you, I don't remember a single concept of mechanical engineering, 0. I don't remember anything of what I have learned, and that's the reality of life. But if you ask me, am I a proud mechanical engineer? Absolutely yes. And you ask me why? Because what engineering teaches you is, you have 3.5 months of classroom. Okay? You learn 6 subjects, 2 labs. 1 month of holiday to study, 1 month of vacation, you come back to do it. 6 labs, 6 papers, 2 labs. 6 papers, 2 labs. 6 papers, 2 labs. At the end of 4 years, engineering teaches you the art of adaptability. That is what engineering teaches. It doesn't teach you anything else. If you see software engineers today, they're probably civil engineers, or they're industrial engineers, or medical electronics, all are software engineers. What they have learned is the art of adaptability. That they have learned to adapt to the time. So when I joined ICICI Bank in their real estate wing, ICICI has this habit. They'll put people in whatever field and they'll learn the job. It was the art of adapting what I learned during engineering that came of good use when I got to my corporate world. Years from today, people will not remember the Pythagoras theorem. How many of you remember the Pythagoras theorem? The parents in the room? Let me ask the parents in the room. I can see 1 or 2 hands there, right? But the journey of learning, I don't remember, let me tell you that. I don't know the Pythagoras theorem. But the journey of learning the Pythagoras theorem has helped me evolve and move on in life. So always look at how you can focus on what you could get. As much as you must be rutting textbooks, learning and vomiting, what is the byproduct of that is what is going to hold you in good stead for the rest of your life. 3, accept failure as a part of your life. Now, how many of you all know the name Warren Buffett? Warren Buffett, all the children? Yeah? Parents, Warren Buffett. He's the world's 6th richest man and probably the greatest investor in the 20th century. He's worth apparently $117 billion as of today. Now, don't ask me how much that money is. All of us sit together and count it. We won't be able to understand how much it is. Right? Now, apparently, he runs a company called Berkshire Hathaway, which focuses on researching a lot into companies and then investing to see that they make a lot of money. So Warren Buffett is 91 years old today. He started investing at the age of 11. 80 years of experience in this field of investing. Okay. Now, do you know Warren Buffett or Berkshire Hathaway has only one investment in India till date? How many of you all know which company they invested into? Yeah? They've invested into a company called Paytm. You all know Paytm? How many of you all have Paytm apps on your phone? The payments app, right? So in 2018, Warren Buffett invested apparently $300 million for a 2.6% stake in the company at the rate of one share being at the rate of 1,279 rupees. Right? Now, the Paytm app was listed in the stock market in November at 2,150 rupees at a 40% profit. So, what they did, Berkshire Hathaway felt that the stock is going to do really well, and they only exited 24 million out of the 300 million. A very minority stake. They said, we'll hold back the rest. Let's see that, the markets will boom. This 2,150 rupees will become 4,000 rupees. I'll make a lot of money. Now, Paytm listed in the stock market has been the greatest disaster ever. Yesterday, Paytm stock closed at 594 rupees at a 65% discount from its listing price. And for Berkshire Hathaway or Warren Buffett to recover his money is going to take a couple of years even to break even. So what's the story? The story is that their first investment in India was a failure. And an investor who's done extensive research for 80 years can also go wrong. Who are we not to go wrong? Who are we not to go wrong? Therefore, you need to remember that in your entire journey in life, you're bound to fail somewhere. You can't always keep succeeding in life. You're bound to fail somewhere. The smarter ones learn from the failures. The others will sit and crib about it. And the day you realize that failure is only an event in your life, and life will move on. So therefore, just accept that at any point in time, you may expect a 90 in an exam and you get 70. Take it as a learning. Never stop your journey. And that's the day you learn and evolve. And finally, the fourth tip I'd ever leave you with, the only learning tip I'd want to leave you with is learn public speaking. It's so heartening to see students on stage today with as much confidence, something that many professionals today lack. And the reason I say learn public speaking is not because I'm a public speaking coach. I myself started speaking on stage during my third year engineering. Until then, I wasn't a speaker. I say this because irrespective of whether you become an engineer, a doctor, a scientist, a chartered accountant, you need this skill to go and tell the world what you are. More often than not, it's not enough to be good at what you do. The world needs to know you're good at it. You need to go, communicate, express yourself, and let the world know what you do, and for which speaking is a skill that is a need of the hour. I run a program in Bangalore today called Own the Stage, like he'd mentioned, where I have professionals across the industry who reach out to me, 15, 20 years in the industry, IIT, IIM grads, extremely proficient at their work, who come and say that I goofed up at a seminar, I goofed up at a team meet, I goofed up at a board meeting. I need to up my skills. And they do. But what I believe is that if this skill is learned at a young age, it can go a long way in making a huge impact in your lives. So to the next 5-6 years, when you're doing your graduation, when you have your semester breaks, when you're evolving through this entire period, do take up a course on public speaking. I'm sure it's going to add a whole lot of value to all your lives. Just to tell you the 4 points again, one is focus on your strength and then excel in it. Second one is focus on the learning. Third is accept failure, and more importantly, try to pick up public speaking as a skill. Now today my speech would seem incomplete if I don't address the parents in the room, because they say ek haath se tali nahi bajti. Then you need the second hand to come together to applaud or pray. Therefore, I'd like to leave the parents in this room with 2 pieces of suggestion, if I may. First one is learn to become your children's mentor. Now, what does this mean? A mentor is somebody who guides, gives them direction, shows them the way, supports them in their difficult times, but never involves in decision making. More often, parents believe that I know what is good for my child. The very statement, I know what is good for my child, is absolutely wrong. Most of the parents in this room must have graduated about 30 years back. The world is changing every 3 minutes. 30 years is a long, long, long time. And therefore, it's important to understand how the world is changing. The one thing as parents you would need to do is to mentor them, provide them support, provide them guidance, reach out to counselors, reach out to people like Pawan when you're in doubt, and help them make an informed decision, but never ever push your dreams onto them, because they have a life and a dream of their own. And the tighter you try to hold it, the quicker it will slip away. And the second aspect, which I don't know if the students will ever like in this room, but I'd certainly say this: share household responsibility. Share household responsibility with the children. More often than not, parents are so focused on giving children everything, giving them the best education, sending them to the best tutorial, seeing that they excel well in their exams, but don't prepare them for the real world. Now in school, if things don't go wrong, you can come back and question the teacher, why this didn't happen? You can't walk into the corporate offices and say, this is my son, why you didn't promote him? Yeah, there comes a time where you need to equip them for the real world. Unfortunately, many of them aren't ready for it. And when they start to see failure in the corporate world, they end up in depression, they get into a shell, and that is not called for. Now, I'm the only child of my parents, and anytime people see me, they say, oh, you must be pampered. Let me tell you, my mother was diagnosed with a low heart rate on my 16th birthday. And during my second year engineering, she underwent her first major heart surgery. She's 5 surgeries now. And my father never understood medical terminology. Overnight, I stepped into handling the hospital and the finances at home, which in many ways has made me who I am today. Now, I coach people. I coach people twice my age. I coach people probably in the mid-50s as well. What makes me a good coach is not understanding the public speaking nuances, but also understanding the realities of life and how to deal with people. And till the day you don't train your children to handle real-time responsibilities, you are not equipping them for the real world. Now, how do you do it? It could be simple things like, after having your meal on the table, ask them to drop the plate into the sink, doing up their bed in the morning, trying to maintain the garden. During vacations, both boys and girls learning cooking, helping in the kitchen, handling aspects at home. These little things will go a long way in helping them evolve and grow into mature individuals on a bad day. We are in times of COVID where we really don't know what's happening next. And the world is going through some really, really, really tough times. It's important that while we give them the best possible education, that we also equip them for the real world. And as parents, these are little things that we can do. The more you try to protect your child, it is only going to be detrimental in the long term. Therefore, let them be themselves while also sharing responsibility to make them more mature individuals. Today, it seems like I'm back in school after a long, long, long time. It's great to see some fantastic energies here, reminded me of the times that I was in. Fantastic to find a school that runs a concept of a studio school. I've known Pawan for more than 15 years now. The initial years I knew him as a passionate teacher who ran his own tutorial. From that to evolve into running a school that is creating a difference in society is fantastic. I think, Pawan, your work is path-breaking, and I can only wish you the best. I hope you continue to influence numerous lives in the years ahead. My best wishes to achieve school, Pawan, and the entire faculty of teachers. I think teaching is such a noble profession that sometimes seems thankless, but I believe every teacher who came on stage today and expressed expressed the sense of happiness to seeing students evolve, I think that is not found in any other profession. I personally believe, I am too a teacher where I coach people. The sense of gratification in doing this job is immense, and I think the teachers in this room deserve a big round of applause. Please continue doing what you do because you're a rare breed, and all I can say is just continue doing the good job. To all the students in the room giving in their 10th boards, all I would say is this, that focus on the process. Give it your best, work hard, sleep well, eat well, write your exams, and forget about the results. Because as they say, all you can do is focus on the process, not worry about what the outcome is. The outcome would be the best ever possible. My best wishes to the school, the parents, and the students in the years ahead, wishing you all the best. Thank you. God bless.